What's up everyone, my name's PlatinumHowler, coach of your Delta Gligars. Today I'm bringing you my week 9 match of the NCL. We're going up against Russ and his Olympique Lairon FC. You can see his team over on the right side of the screen. Currently he is 3-5 in desperate need of victories to keep himself in the playoff hunt. And we're gonna get into our team right away. So, pretty similar team to the one that we brought last week. 5 of the same 6 mons. Instead we have Stakataka over Hatterene this time. We have this Howler set with Taunt and Swords Dance. Obviously, Galarian Corsola is very annoying to deal with. So if that thing is still around by the time we are bringing our Howler in, then we can taunt it. And the only thing it can do to us is Nightshade, and we have a lot of HP, so that Nightshade would not be a 3-hit KO against us. I believe even if we come in on rocks, it won't be a 3-hit KO. But if he wears us down enough, then he'll likely put us into range for Mamoswine's Ice Shard. That's definitely a reason why I wanted Grassy Seed for the defense boost. With Howler, so that I could be less vulnerable to a Mamoswine's Ice Shard. Hopefully the defense boost will allow me to live. I can get HP back from clicking Drain Punch against that thing. So yeah, Swords Dance, if we can get to the goal against Corsola will be to get to +4. And if we do that, then we can do about 75%. Assuming he's max physically defensive to Galarian Corsola at +4 with acrobatics. So yeah. Next up we have Drapion. Drapion has Toxic Spikes this week. This is the freest Drapion Toxic Spike set I've ever had because he has no ground and poison type. His hazard removal is weak. So I am counting on getting a large portion of his team poisoned in this game, including the Galarian Corsola. That's going to really help wear it down so that Howler can deal with it late in the game. Pretty standard set. The EV spread is a little unique though. We have enough investment so that we don't die to a Specs Boomburst from Swellow. We don't die to a Specs Moonblast from Primarina. And we have enough speed to outspeed Mamoswine. And then we put the rest into attack just to, maybe get a little bit extra damage off against certain things. And we are Lumberry so that if we switch in on the Corsola and he tries to Will-O-Wisp, then we can cure that right away, threaten him out with a knockoff. And if we haven't got our spikes up already, then we can do that against Corsola. Next is Mega Camerupt. Pretty simple spread, pretty simple move set. Heavy Slam, though, is nice because it OHKOs the Mega Gardevoir. Because Camerupt obviously gets Sheer Force, and I had an Iron Head on this set initially because, Sheer Force boosted Iron Head, but Heavy Slam, Heavy Slam is still stronger than Iron Head, even though it doesn't receive the Sheer Force boost. So that's definitely the right play to have Heavy Slam over Iron Head. If we have Grassy Terrain active with Camerupt on the field and he wants to try to switch in Primarina, we can hit that with a Nature Power. This is a decent switch in to Corsola. However, Corsola will outspeed us, obviously, unless Trick Room is up, so we'd be taking quite a bit of Nightshade chip from him. Preferably if Camerupt wants to be on the field, it's with Trick Room up, obviously. So we'll try to get Trick Room up as often as we can. Next is Jellicent. He has Libero Cinderace. I believe he actually picked that with his first round pick, the very pick before ours. I think he was 8th in the draft list, and I was 9th. I want to say something like that. So yeah, he picked Libero Cinderace right before us. If he hadn't, then I probably would have picked Libero Cinderace myself, and my team would look completely different right now. But I'm very happy with the way my team looks, so I'm, good for him for taking that. Very scary Mon. He's brought out all eight weeks so far. Surprise, surprise. He also has brought Mega Gardevoir 8 times out of 8, and Swellow 8 times out of 8. Hence why we have the Stack-A-Taka set that we do this week. Anyways, Trick Room Recover. Recover over Strength Sap, I feel like that's going to help us more. I don't really feel that lowering Cinderace's attack is going to help us too much. Obviously it would, but I want to be able to recover against things like Primarina, potentially. Things like Swellow would still give us a hefty amount of HP back, I guess. Yeah, but Primarina, I guess, is the main thing. Corsola as well, because we're not strength zapping anything back from Corsola. Vikavolt, I guess, to an extent as well, and Mega Gardevoir, if I want to sit and recover in front of those things, then recover is always the play over strength zap. And then just Hex, because we are planning on getting a majority of his team poisoned, so Hex is going to be dealing good amounts of damage to anything that is poisoned, and then Scald for Mamoswine and Cinderace, and if he's switching in a Levitating Vikavolt that will not get poisoned, hopefully we can burn it with the Scald, and then Hex will be doing a lot of damage to that. So next is Stack-A-Taka Max Specially Defensive with Choppleberry. This is our switch in to Mega Gardevoir. We have a chance to live a Hyper Voice plus a Focus Blast from Gardevoir with max special defense investment. I think the better play, honestly, is after we switch into a Hyper Voice, we then double into Jellicent if he's going for, for example, if he's going for a, if he's planning on going for a Focus Blast on that turn, then we can switch in Jellicent and be immune. But depending on what he has, I might, decide to risk him going for Focus Blast. One, he has to hit the Focus Blast as well. And then we could potentially get Trick Room up, potentially get Stealth Rocks up, and then Gyro Ball Stone Edge, just to deal damage to his team. Oh, and also this thing is the Swellow switch in, because we 4 times resist Specs Boom Burst, and we 4 times resist Flying type moves, and 4 times resist Guts Facade. So just an all-around good stop to Swellow. Basically the only thing Swellow can do against us is Reversal, if he is a tricky sub reversal set or something. I don't know. That would be a pretty heat set if he brought it. And last but not least, we're bringing Scarfed Rillaboom again. Pretty similar set to the last time. I think last time we had Knockoff instead of Superpower. Yeah. So Grassy Surge, obviously we want that to be able to give Hawlucha its boost, its Unburdened boost, its defense boost. If Grassy Surge is around, then we can give Camerupt the ability to Nature Power things like the Primarina. So we have enough speed on this to just outspeed... actually, it's faster than everything on his team that's not Scarfed, and it's also faster than Adamant Scarfed Mamoswine if he wanted to bring that for whatever reason. He did bring Scarfed Mamo last week, but I don't know why he would bring that against my team. But who knows? We have enough investment for that if we need it. So that's going to be the team. Hopefully we can bounce back from our Week 8 loss last week and get back into the win column this week. So we'll see you right back with the battle. Okay, here we are back with the battle. Looking at my opponent's team, not really any surprises at all. He's kind of in the same boat as me as far as APA goes. By that I mean I haven't been bringing a lot of my lower tier mons, I guess. They're not really even my lower tier mons. It's just some of the mons that just don't fit on my team quite as well. I haven't been bringing. But what I mean is he's been bringing the same 6 pretty much every single week. So that's to be expected. So I decide to lead off with my Drapion just to get the Toxic Spikes up, because he does not have removal outside of Defog's Swellow, and Swellow is the only thing that doesn't actually get poisoned by the Toxic Spikes. So let's get him up. He's going to U-turn out with the Cinderace into the Mamoswine and reveal that he is Choice Scarfed Mamoswine. So we didn't really need Drapion for anything else other than to set the Toxic Spikes up, and for some reason they are not showing up on the screen. But you can't actually see the spike, but Primarina definitely got poisoned as it came in there. So Jellicent was able to set up a Trick Room, and I guess this is the best thing he has to deal with Jellicent in Trick Room. Shadow Ball, he does not have Energy Ball. Energy Ball likely would have been a 2-hit KO, whereas Shadow Ball is not. I'm not even SPDF invested. But because he is poisoned, Hex is full power, and that combined with the chip from the actual poison is going to force him to switch out there into the Swellow. I guess he knew another Hex was coming, so he can be immune to that, but I can switch in my Stack Attacker here, which 4 times just his Boom Burst, and potentially set Trick Room up again, which is why I was really surprised that he made this play, because if I was just going to set up another Trick Room, I would not be bringing in Mamoswine right there. I'd be bringing in Corsola, because anything else on his team would be dying to a hit from Stack Attacker. But I don't know what he's predicting me to do. Maybe he's predicting me to go for Stone Edge outright, and yeah, I'm not even going to speculate what he was predicting. I don't think you predict rocks from a Stack Attacker, but he does get himself into a situation where I know that he's Scarfed. He has to choose a move to lock himself into, and I've already seen him play aggressively with the Mamoswine, so I call the Icicle Crash right here. And regardless of whether I was flinched or not, he was locked into it, so he would have had to switch out. But thankfully we don't get flinch, and we just outright KO him with a Gyro Ball with no attack investment. Still KOs a Choice Scarf to Mamoswine. So Primarina is going to come in to attempt to revenge me, which is fine by me, because even if when I bring in Rillaboom to set Grassy Terrain, he gets a little bit of recovery, but he still dies to the toxic damage. And the reason why I brought in Rillaboom over... well, Rillaboom was really the only thing I could have switched in there. I wasn't going to risk Jellicent. Jellicent can still recover up in front of the Galarian Corsola. It can actually switch in and take a Nightshade from it because of how much HP it has. It's at like 28% roughly right now, so that's over 100 HP. So it'd be able to come in and then get a recover off. So yeah, I wasn't risking Jellicent there. But so Rillaboom came in and took a big chunk of damage because the Primarina was in Torrent range, so it did almost half to me with a resisted hit. But now Swellow is here, and this is like the ultimate bluff, I guess, because I brought Rillaboom in without clicking an attack, and he had to choose something to bring in. As long as it wasn't Corsola, I was getting a kill here. I know for a fact that after Rocks, Wood Hammer from Adamant Max Attack Rillaboom is going to be able to, even though it's resisted, can KO a Swellow because it's frail as hell. Now I'm going to save my Rillaboom and go hard into Howlucha and get the defense boost right away. I wasn't willing to sack off anything just yet, and in retrospect, I probably should have gone into Mega Camera, but oh well. Howlucha is here now, and I can chew 2 hits from the Cinderace. Thankfully, he doesn't get the Gunk Shot Poison right there. I actually consider myself going for an Acrobatics right there to be a misplay, assuming that a neutral Acrobatics knocked out the Cinderace. I probably shouldn't have risked a roll, shouldn't have risked him having a move to hit me super effectively and knock me out, because I needed to force in the Corsola so that I could get the taunt off against it and weaken it for other members of my team. So, I mean, assuming that Acrobatics killed Cinderace from the range that it was at, that was a misplay going for Swords Dance. I didn't need to do that. I could have Swords Dance in front of the Corsola after I taunted it. But thankfully, we because we have so much HP investment, we actually do survive the hits from Cinderace. Now Corsola is going to come in. It's the only thing he can't bring in Gardevoir against me. And Acrobatics actually does a lot of damage, but he's going to be able to Strength Sap all of that back. So now that I see he wasn't just going to try to knock me out with the Nightshade right away, he's going to spam Strength Sap until he can get himself healthy. I will just taunt him and prevent him from doing that, and then I'll get some chip off against him. Luckily for me, he did not get Curse Body to activate on the first turn that I clicked Acrobatics against him, because otherwise I would not have been able to touch him and not been able to get the chip that I wanted. So here I actually considered going into Stack Attack a misplay. I probably shouldn't have gone into Rillaboom because I shouldn't have risked Woodhammer not killing from that range. Well, no, like if he's at 28%, Woodhammer would have killed like no matter what. So I could have gone into Rillaboom. I could have gone into Mega Camerupt, and both of those things would have been able to clean up this game. But instead, I felt compelled to go into Stack Attacka to try to clean up, because I know that once I set up Trick Room, I can outspeed this thing and then KO it. But the problem is, the taunt wears off, and this thing is slow as hell, so I don't know if a Gyro Ball is actually going to be able to kill this thing. And, well, I guess now that I think about it, if I had gone into Rillaboom and he Curse Bodied my Woodhammer, then I would have probably lost a point of differential. So Mega Camerupt was definitely the optimal play to go, because Nightshade plus any attack from Gardevoir would not have put me in range to die. Like neither of those two hits would have been able to kill me, and I would have had attacks to hit them both to knock them both out, even without Trick Room up. So now I have to hit a Stone Edge to knock this thing out, and I do hit a Stone Edge. So the one week that I brought Rock Blast Stack Attacka to make sure that I didn't miss, I did miss, and I've hit every other Stone Edge outside of that with Stack Attacka. So Stone Edge it is from this point on in the season. Anyway, with Trick Room set up, and I can just Gyro Ball the Gardevoir for the victory. Not the cleanest of end games from me. Like, I probably could have played it better than I did, but thankfully my build was strong enough to make up for my not so great judgment of what should have been done to clean up that game. But we are giving Stack Attacka 3 more kills for the season, because it did also get the kill on the Mamoswine. So it got I believe it got a 4-mon sweep earlier in the season, so it should be at least 7 kills now, which is, I'm happy about that. I'm happy that Stack Attack has proven its worth, and it's not just coming and not doing anything. But yeah, that's going to be the game. We're going to bounce back from last week and get another win to move up to 7-2. I want to say plus 19 differential. We still haven't clinched playoffs yet. We have 3 more weeks. I'm sure we will get a win in at least one of those, and we'll be able to make playoffs pretty easily. The twist here is that in the NCL playoffs, if you get one of the top 2 seeds, you get to choose your playoff opponent. I'm not fully decided on how I plan on going about that, and it's also out of my hands who the number 1 seed, who is still undefeated, chooses as their playoff opponent. But yeah, it would definitely be nice to get one of those top 2 seeds, so that we can carve our own playoff path, if that makes any sense. So thank you for watching. Make sure you leave a like and a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you keep up with all of our Draft League content, and we'll see you next week for week 10 of the NCL.